Yuumi, very, very boring, very, you know, we see it every other day. Orianna, though, pretty cool. Plus, there's a Poppy here, which sets up for potentially some really, really interesting team fights. A lot of spacing has to go down. For WE, it feels a little more, you know, snowball-esque when you've got the Nami Lucian on the bottom side of the map. You've got the Wukong, so early skirmishing should be in your favor as well. You need the Ryze to be unlocked. And in that mid lane matchup, Orianna, historically, you'd be able to kind of push him out in the early stages. So hopefully W will be able to pair up as a duo, unlock that lane, and then try and move down to the bottom side to try and make sure that Nami Lucian is doing well, to try and shut down that Zeri Yuumi in the bottom side early on.
I was going to say, I'm very excited to see the Zeri Yuumi for Gala Ming. Obviously going to be a big piece to RNG winning this game and finding that come up for themselves here against WE. But that's where all the focus for us at least goes to bot lane, because we got an extravaganza here. We have on one side hope from JDG, who just came off a summer championship with Lwandy, reunited from their days on EDG Youth in 2019. Slight reunion there. But then on the other side, you have Gala and Ming. They've literally won MSIs. They've had highlight reels for days. And we're going to get a bloodbath here, especially with the way the meta has panned out.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm hoping, like you say, for that sort of gladiator, like straight up just mano 2v2 bottom lane. And we should technically get it, right? Via Hope and Lwandy on their end. And it's going to be a bit of a rough one for Gala and Ming in the early stages. Typically, that's how the lane goes. It's not Lulu Zeri. Lulu, you can normally kind of stave off a little bit of that pressure, but with the Yuumi, is a lot more about scaling into the mid game and trying to team fight, you know, after that second line starts to come in.
When we get to hear some of the quiet gyros, I'm sure the crowd will ramp up as time goes on. Just listen to those wonderful cheers as the crowd reactions come through. We're gonna hear some nice little cheers there. But as we kind of zoom in onto this series, I want to go back to what I was saying earlier, and the fact that there's very different perspectives for both these two teams, right? RNG, they need to right the ship. They've got to find a way, right, getting Ming back integrated into the team and finding a way to have him back to his shot calling prowess that he found last year with Xiaohu, who is no longer here. Having Angel, how does Angel kind of integrate in the team? But it's about riding the ship for them. And for WE, it's about setting yourself apart from the rest of the middle of the table pack.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually want to focus on W a little bit more, because at least personally, my expectations were a little bit tempered. I'm not really sure. I didn't get much of a feeler for how the rest of the expectations were for Team W. Pupper in the background, I know. Love him to bits. But W have been doing really well so far, right? And I think if you're able to take down RNG, a team which typically you would be looking to kind of struggle against, right? Uphill battle kind of feel. If you can get a win off them, as is always the case, right? It's just a one round robin with the best of threes. So securing a win off them, and you never know, RNG can always bounce back, right? It's not like it's impossible for them to make top 10, even if they have a really rough start. It's RNG at the end of the day. But for WE, you secure a win, all of a sudden you're 4-2. You're sort of top 5, top 4 territory. And you can look to try and sort of secure yourself a playoff spot very, very early on.
And this is the last day of week number 4 as well, so we're getting along in the time. I know why your dog is barking. It's because Ming is playing the cat and we're focusing bot lane. I know, and I feel so bad for your pupper.
He feels bad, yeah.
It feels gotta feel bad. But a little bit of aggression from Gala and Ming in response to some of that level 1 trading that Hope and Lwandy had. They have not actually hit level 2 yet, so I'm very interested at where Wei and Heng go in this jungle pathing down towards bottom lane. They're full clearance straight down here to this extravaganza that we set up.
Yeah, exactly. And Hope and Lwandy aren't like hard insta-shoving this bottom side of the map, which could mean they're trying to set up for Heng to come down here and try and find a successful play. As you can see, he's going to drop a ward, and he's actually looking potentially top over this wall. We'll see what he's looking for, though. It's not a bot side gank. It's actually going to be towards Wei, or is it
Wei doesn't know. Yeah, he's actually just wrapping around mid. Angel feels like he's safe here. He gets room prisoned, and Heng shows up. Angel immediately turned tail, and a flash over the wall gets the mid laner out of there. Wei just here to shove and make sure that Angel's okay.
Yeah, Angel able to walk that one off. Does lose his flash, which means, you know, level 6, that's where it's going to be really, really painful maybe for RNG. And we spoke about how W want to open up this mid lane matchup, which is typically kind of Orianna favored in the early stages, so you can move down towards the bottom side and facilitate Hope and Lwandy. That's step 1 complete, blowing the Orianna flash, so you can maybe try and get a play onto her at level 6 and then move down.
You see a slight hover here from Wei as well as Heng. And whoever gets these resources bottom lane first is going to feel real good. We're going to check in on the top lane island, see how both guys are doing with their coconut drinks and their umbrellas. Seems like Biubiu getting a little bit of a trade back against Breathe as we go to a very aggressive ward put down from Wei.
Yeah, quite aggressive, but it will just spot out what Heng is up to. And we'll just return to his own jungle. I don't think we'll get many pans towards the top side of the map anymore, Mazel, after that.
Hey, we gotta check in every now and then, all right? We just gotta make sure they haven't gotten wiped off the island. Like, the trees are still growing. We got the wildlife there. Like, just gotta make sure everything's okay.
Look, at this point, the way that the patches are going, the top lane is just gonna go extinct. Like, we might just have a... Might just have a situation.
Go to the La Brea tar pits, like, oh, look at these old dinosaurs. Like, they're stuck in the mud.
You know, like the memes where people are like, man, we should just shut like all of the rivers, the river entrances to the lanes off, so junglers can just farm AFK for 20 minutes. They're gonna start doing that maybe for top laners at this point. Yeah, it's just gonna be a top laner 1v1.
Let's look at this though. A little bit of movement from the mid lane. They aren't going to fully commit though, but you have Heng actually wrapping back around. Knows that there's some warding down here placed, so actually going to take the long way around. Wei sticking around, does get spotted going into the jungle of WE. There's a lot of mind games being played here, Jamada.
Yeah, they've been very, very touching though, right? No. Both Wei and Heng. He's going to be able to walk it out, I think. Wei, not even Heng was on a ward, right? As well. If there's a commitment from Wei kind of closer to the tribe rush. So, like you say, a lot of mind games. But again, we said the focus is going to be on the bottom side of the map, right? You've got Gala and Ming on this very, very hyper-scaly bottom lane, and you've got Hope and Lwandy on the opposite side with a matchup where they should have a lot of agency right now. Not really feeling that agency at all. They're down 15 CS at the moment. Sure, there's half a wave coming into Hope, but still not going to feel too good about this. And this is always kind of the worry I have these days, seeing Nami Lucian into... It almost feels like Zeri lanes in general now. It's not just Lulu. That a lot of the time, you really need to be facilitated by the rest of your map to get this Lucian Nami going. It's starting to feel a lot less like a lane matchup, and a lot more like a mid-game power spike with the Mandate and Gale Force. But mid-lane play, no flash from earlier on.
Double the CC combo! First blood for WE.
And that's it. Step 1, right? WE unlock the mid lane, get Shanks into a comfortable position, uses his own flash to set up Angel. And the setup is as easy as you'd like with the Rune Prison. And they're not even going to get anything in particular besides the kill. They'll shove in the wave. Not going to get a dragon or anything like that, so that's going to remain on the cards. And the rest of the map, WE just going to go back to farming for now. So really nice play towards the mid lane. Going to set Angel behind, and we'll see if they can maybe get another repeat gank off. And try and re-burn Angel's flash, as that should be coming up in around 40-ish seconds or so.
And I think it's so interesting to see what Shanks has kind of evolved into. I think last year we saw some struggling from Shanks, and especially pairing up with Beishang in the jungle, but now seeing a little bit of this spark from Shanks, and especially I don't remember exactly what outlet translated it to English, but I remember there was a video showing, I think it was in off-season, talking to Team WE's coaching staff and showing how much of an emphasis they want to put on Shanks as a centerpiece for this team. And I think it's been really, really crucial for Team WE to use Shanks as a bridge with Heng to make sure that Hope and Lwandy are set up for the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when you have such a talented AD carry like Hope on your lineup, right, the pressure is always going to kind of be there to want to perform. And I feel like Shanks has bared that burden quite well so far. And like you say, you really want to see the pair up of Heng and Shanks as a as a duo.
Hey, you know, we'll find a way to make the nickname work in some way.
We will.
We did get level 6 started to come up on bottom lane. Wonder if we get a little bit more aggression with Hope and Lwandy. Obviously, still really much looking towards that first item spike for the Lucian Nami combo. And aggression until then from Gala and Ming. Now, there is a bottom side clear coming through from Wei. Want to check in where Heng is going as he's been pinging towards this mid lane potentially. But it looks like we might just get another butting of heads between these former young miracle junglers.
Exactly. And Shanks has mid lane prio, so maybe they can try and move down towards the bottom side. Or at the very least get some information about where Wei could be or just was. They'll see that that Raptor camp is gone. And I wonder if they'll expect maybe that he's on the top side of the map with that camp being gone. That Wei is actually on the Krugs, so see if the play wants to actually unfold here, because Gala, he's waiting in the tri-brush. He can always scale over the wall, and there is that lost chapter, or final chapter available
so
from Ming as well. Here you go.
They will see it. Final chapter coming out. Flash from Hope gets him out of there, but the cleanse used from Hope. Lightning Crash is there. They're going all the way. Ham, but Wei goes down first. It's a trade kill. Gala needs to get one back as well, but they can't find the damage onto Lwandy. He wants to get it. There's the prowling projectile. Gala has to flash. It is messy, but RNG get themselves on the board.
Hey, I mean, I'll take it, right? You get Gala a kill. Even if you hand over a kill to Hope, I feel like you're right with that mid lane though. Shanks!
Oh, there is not enough.
Ooh. All right, take a deep breath. Shanks walks that one off just about. No flash from the setup earlier on, of course. Angel trying to take advantage of that and trying to find a solo kill. About 50 HP short on Lethal, really unfortunate there, but you can see the setup before it really happens, can't you? Over the wall with that ultimate from Yuumi. Cleanse comes in pretty much instantaneously. Dive back is pretty good, and even though Wei drops, right, Hope still dies, and it's Gala that collects the kill credit, and honestly, Gala could have maybe snuck away this kill credit as well, but just the fact that Ming has the Q just to, you know, try and get the damage going, means that Lwandy end up dying, doesn't have the HP to survive that, and the dive itself, and the redive specifically, a lot more clean. Wei commits to the play, and whilst that was going on, WE did get the Herald, so I guess that's going to be the response, right? How they can actually use that one and maybe try to offset some of the lead that RNG have found themselves in the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and I want to check in on that proactivity we were kind of wanting to see. We have Rift Herald for Heng now. He's headed straight towards bottom lane. Could expect some resources down to Hope and Lwandy. Would be very much wanted there by this duo. We're looking in mid lane, though, as Wei does dissuade Shanks from going all in onto Angel. And again, presence on the bottom side. We'll see if Wei actually goes down there to respond.
Yeah, Wei definitely wants to kind of be man marking Heng at the moment. I think when you've got the Herald and you know, especially that you've got this Nami Lucian down here, they're likely going to want to get some plays going.
Oh,
this is what I'm talking about.
But Gala, he's too quick with the feet. Man, RNG. Nicely done against WE's engage on bottom side, meeting no Rift Herald bottom lane for Hope and Lwandy.
Yeah, and just how frustrating does that feel for WE? Because the setup realistically is super good, right? Almost any other AD carry in the game, and they just die in that kind of spot. Gala's able to just skate over the wall on Zeri. Not Zeri. Smile. And just able to escape it. So RNG, you know, they dissuade the play, they disengage it really well, and nothing really comes of it. As I'm not sure where
we get to check back in on the island. Whoa. Okay, so some plates going off with Biubiu.
Yo, we're feeling pretty tropical up here.
Oh,
second
plates.
He's rich. Whoa.
That's incredible. That's the most action this top lane's gonna see for days.
I feel that, like, at what point, what island does Tom Hanks get stuck on? In
like some random island.
Is it just a random Pacific island, right?
I think it's Atlantic, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. Don't make me go into details. It's been a while since I watched Castaway.
But that's what top lane is starting to feel like. You know, we're approaching Wilson levels.
Where's Wilson? Jamada, tell me where he is.
He's in the ocean floating away. That's the sanity of top laners right now. But,
so we actually see Heng rotating towards this top side, finally get that top side clear. Wei is just right back towards bottom side, maybe get something going onto Hope, but also a dragon coming up on the board. And this will be second for RNG if they claim it.
Yeah, definitely early dragons, super potent. We see it very frequently at the moment where teams kind of give up the first two dragons on occasion, right? And it really does put a lot of pressure on them, more so than it feels like it typically does. Wei's just gonna walk through the tower.
Oh no, the cleanse was so good from Hope, but it didn't matter. That was actually incredible. I would love to see a replay of that, but unfortunately for Hope, his smooth moves don't end up keeping him alive.
Yeah, Hope unfortunately still drops. Herald gets placed in the mid lane, so they get a lot of plates in return. Shanks and Heng. And maybe they're able to sort of stop this dragon attempt from going down because they've got this mid lane pressure. Even with Hope dead, 3 members here, they're going to start out themselves. And Gala and Ming don't have the tools to contest this. So RNG expend their tempo for the play onto Hope, which means they lose this dragon. Just going to remove any early dragon threat, early soul threat rather. Is it cloud? How many clouds are we going to get?
With Jamada, don't talk about it. We just leave that out of this, okay? We don't talk about it. We got a mountain for the last series that we had, so at least we got that. But another cloud soul onto the rift for me and you should be a lot of fun. Man, I'm still just so stuck. I don't think I've ever seen anybody cleanse the Poppy knockback to where they don't get pushed back at all. Like, that's actually insane. Wave might need to be a little careful here, though.
But back away. It happens. But yeah, that was really nuts. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
but he still died, so it doesn't matter. Like, my brain needs to stop. Like, it's so cool, but it didn't matter.
Like, I'll be honest, right? I didn't even react to it because I thought that Hope just was so sleek that he managed to dash away from the E, which there are some dashes. The Poppy E interaction is really weird. There are a couple of dashes where you can actually dash out of the Poppy E and it just won't do anything. I guess Lucian E in my head was one of them, but no, I think it was, you're right, I think he just cleansed it.
We'll never know. We're never gonna, it was too much of a small play. We're never gonna know. RNG are on the forefront here though, as they are a little salty. They lost that dragon stacking. We do have a Rift Herald coming up in about 35 seconds, but again, all of RNG's focus has been to make sure this bottom lane can get to the late game, and so far Gala's looking good.
Yeah, 201, shield bow, already going towards that second item as well. On the opposite end,
the item completions for WE though, Hope and Lwandy.
Yeah, and generally I think item completions really spike WE in terms of damage a lot more than the early ones will for RNG. As I think this mid lane tower is just going to drop more pressure. You can see Angel respecting the potential of Heng just coming over the wall. And maybe just straight up diving him. So steps back. They lose the tier 1 in the mid lane from the play as well earlier on the Herald. And to continue my point, yeah, the WE item spikes, they just hit a lot harder, right? Gale Force, Dirk, plus Mandate all of a sudden can kind of one-shot you or, you know, kind of 100 to 20 you very, very quickly. Divine Thunder as well, Wukong, all of a sudden, you know, lethal threat is always there onto the squishies. And Shanks, once he hits that Archangel staff, with the rower stacked, those Qs overloaded, you're looking at, you know, 500 a pop, 600 on, you know, squishy champs. That's very quick to remove a champion off the rift. So WE are going to hit a really, really big spike here in this mid game. The RNG are going to have to stave off for a little while longer, but they do have the kind of composition, right? It's very front to back with the Orianna, the Sion, Poppy as well.
Yeah.
Got the Zeri to boot. So it's not like they can't deal with it and scale up, but if WE use their tools efficiently, it's going to get really, really tough. So continue to look for hard and plays like this to
Ming tanking a lot there.
Press all of this pressure down onto RNG. And I really want to see them try and get this Herald now, Team WE. Maybe wait for the Cullen to come back up if you really feel like it's super necessary, but try and get mid-lane pressure. Look for a flank maybe, but Angel's here.
He's on the flank here as well. They have the lightning crash to do some damage back, and Heng in some trouble as well. Cyclone number 2, not going to do it. Get a little bit of slow and breathe, try to get the engage. Shockwave comes in, and Lwandy, that's a double kill for Angel as Biubiu's tanking down. The Gnar does get the kill back on the way. And it's trading down. Hope survives in the side, but RNG, they strike back.
Yeah, they strike back. It's WE that go for that play initially. Shanks is just on the top side, pushing in this wave. He's got nothing to do with this play at all. He'll be very happy to at the very least get all this gold, but RNG just counterpunch so well. They look for the play, I think it was on Gala, way as well, interrupts the dash, which definitely delays a lot of the initial CC that could have come down. I assume we'll probably get a replay of that. There you go. It's like clockwork, isn't it? As Heng, you can see it's this W that just stops the knockup from coming in a brief second sooner, which maybe if that comes in the knockup, then maybe the bubble can chain in, right? But it's definitely very, very hopeful. Shockwave, flash comes in from Angel, pull back into Lwandy, dead. And even though this Gnar does bring the way underneath the tower for a trade kill, he's still going to drop in the end as well. So the kills come in for RNG, and we were just speaking about how realistically it's W who should be looking to fight on a spike kind of around now, right? So for RNG to win a fight so convincingly is very, very concerning for Team WE, because they've got the team composition RNG that are going to scale further and further into this game and to a higher ceiling you would have to expect than Team WE.
Well, I will say that is true, but I love that W are getting a little bit back, right? They have now another Rift Herald, or a Rift Herald for themselves, and I think being able to utilize this to continue to keep up in gold, even though you're giving up some of these kills to RNG, is still good. But again, I agree, like, you're going to be looking at Shanks to be that real big late game damage carry. The movement and positioning of Hope and Lwandy is going to be so crucial, much more so that I feel like you have that easier bar of execution for RNG.
Yeah, definitely. And with that pressure of execution, I hope WE continue to look for some of these plays. I hope, yeah. I wonder see Team W. God. That was terrible. I'm so sorry.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I quite literally, in my head, I channeled my inner Munchables for that one. That was...
Shout out to Munchables.
Shout out to Munch. I do want to see Team W continue to look for the proactivity, though, right? I think when you've got the, the agency to try and make plays, still look for them. Don't feel discouraged just because you ended up finding one bad play. And I think you're going to have to, right? Because you can't really sit on your hands against RNG, like you were saying as well. As RNG...
They do have the pick-out tools, though, especially if they can catch Gala out. But that's the thing. Like, Gala and Ming are the pillar of RNG, right? And Breathe as well, way huge. But being able to see this bot lane be a mainstay for them in terms of how they win games for so long, right? Like, you have the LPL first-team All-Pro support for the last 2 years in spring and summer in Ming. And yes, he's rejoined the team a little bit later into the season this time around, but you cannot give resources to this bottom lane and not expect to have some trouble dealing with them.
Yep, exactly. Not only is Gala good, Ming's a little bit good too.
He is on the cat.
Just
you know, it's good. You have to have good mechanics, all right? I know there's a lot of memes about Yuumi, but
cope. I mean, look, no matter what you think about Yuumi, no matter what you this point, because that's a very dead angel.
Angel looking for a guardian angel there, but can't find it. Angel falls in the side lane. Another tower goes to WE, and they're so good at picking apart the map like this.
Yeah, they really are, and they need to continue to do this, right? Tier 2 drops. We'll see if they can maybe get a little bit of pressure on the opposite side of the map. And with both these teams having, 2 dragons for RNG, 1 for WE, there's going to be no, solve for at the very least next 8 minutes if RNG manage to pick both of the next dragons up pretty much on spawn. So Baron is really going to be the focus. And I'd like to see WE shift their focus potentially to making sure they have pretty consistent pressure up on the top side of the map. And sure, you can hold down here on this Gnar. He should scale really, really well on the side lane. This is just a good setup from Shanks.
Yeah, really good.
As Angel, as soon as you get Roof Prisms, you're just dead. There's too much CC to deal with there. So kind of unfortunate. Very little counterplay besides just don't be there. And yeah, hopefully W can continue to make these plays on the side lane, because I think they're going to have to. RNG, I'll sound like a broken record, of course, will scale really well in the 5v5s. So you want to try and avoid the 5v5s as much as you can, now that you've kind of gone past the point of sort of consistent mid lane picks in the mid lane. It kind of feels like in most games that window kind of sits between 14 and 20 minutes, right? Now, unless you step up like this,
steps up just an inch, and they take a literal mile. RNG slammed down hard on WE as Hope mispositions. And will be Heng who makes it out alive with a little bit of RNG pressure there. But it is RNG who now feel like they rule the world at this point, and they're right on to Baron.
Yeah, when I used to coach, we had a saying, take the finger or take the hand, right? And that means be happy with the little prize or be ready to be punched back in the face. And I feel like Hope just gets a little bit too over-eager to step forward into Gala as they walk out into the river. And Gala just says, what are you doing, brother? Just get out of the way.
Looks like I got my 2 item spike. I wanted to have fun too.
Exactly. I want to have fun. It's my turn. Yeah, it doesn't happen like that. RNG very happily just pick up the Baron, and they're going to be able to probably get a fair amount. All of the tier 2 still up and available, so that's just standing gold to try and work with. W really needs to try and break apart the tempo as RNG walk back out onto the map with this buff. Otherwise, things are going to get really, really tricky for them. Yeah, replay. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Like, hope, you know, like you say, I've got 2 items. I really want to have fun. Nope. Never mind. Just gets slammed into the wall, knocked up, shockwave. I think I hear people,
that also,
people as though they're about to start taking stuff out of his house as well. Like, RNG.
I'm also gonna say, little point. I know it's small. The last time I talked about it, that replay guarantees that the cleanse was used to stop the pushback because he got pushback after the dash of that one. Just a little thing. I know.
Right,
Closing the loop. Closing the loop.
Look, it was cool. It was really cool. I agree.
You got WE. Yeah, it's closed. It's closed. WE, though, I will say the proactivity to try and get back into this game has been really good, right? They're only about 1.5k down, even though we've seen consecutive fights taken by RNG. And that's because they're focusing side lane. They're focusing away from the 5v5, just like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And
oh, but Heng is just all by himself. He's got 3. Biubiu gets the knock into Gala. Gala's down, but so is Hope. He's still got a very, very strong Angel and protected by the beefy bodies of Way and Breeze. Shanks in a little bit of trouble himself here, getting slowed down, knocked up, goes golden. The rest of WE have made it out. Oh, Shanks gets a trade back kill. Okay, he should die soon to breathe, but he gets one back, and you'll take those for WE.
Honestly, yeah.
Dragon
not
up,
too
though.
bad. 3-2. They probably lose the Dragon, maybe. And Gnar can teleport back in, and between Lwandy and Biubiu, they can try and defend this 2v3, but Angel isn't exactly weak, so maybe they end up flipping it. Heng is going to tell
fight
back
this.
on the map.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't get...
Oh my god, Biubiu, your health
my
buff.
God,
Okay, hop, skipping a jump.
He's just murdering him.
Oh, he goes golden. The knockback. Biubiu, he gets the wallop. The slam down. Thank you, Biubiu, as he's taking out Ming as well. The duo is too damn strong. RNG, they've been eviscerated in front of the Dragon Pin. This is all WE.
Oh, they just bite off a little more than they can actually chew there, RNG. They want the Dragon. It's a bit greedy, but they feel like 2v3, it should be theirs. But Biubiu has other ideas. He's a 2-item Gnar. He's not exactly dealing no damage with a Black Cleaver and a Triforce. And it all starts with this engage here from Heng. It's a real nice flank. 3 people knocked up here. And there are technically 4 if you include the Yuumi. And he's just not taking that much damage initially. He's buying so much time for the rest of WE to actually come in here and follow up on all of this damage. And the back end of that, somehow, Gala also gets caught out by Biubiu. So it's an excellent flank from the Gnar. And once Gala's dead, you can kind of see the consistent damage drops off quite sharply for RNG. They still do have damage, but it's just going to take a lot more to get through some of the damage dealers there you saw from Team WE. So again, you know, if W can find their man, which is Gala, then fights look okay, playable, right? I think that's the key word. The issue is now Gala has an IE. He didn't have an IE before he died. Now he does.
True.
So how many more times will he get caught out, especially once his flash is back up and he's got the barrier as well for that extra layer of protection? Will he allow that to happen is the question. How well will Biubiu actually find these flanks, right? That's the things we have to track as we continue into this game, because RNG, again, scaling there for WE, it's all about the execution of some of these team fights. Realistically, the comp of RNG will play itself out quite easily, to be honest with you. W have to try and break that pattern.
Again, it's all about that bar of execution for RNG being a lot easier, but you look at these downtime moments with no objective and the side lane pressure that W is putting down. It doesn't help that RNG are just using brute force to push down mid lane. As now WE trying to regroup. They do still have Shanks in the side lane, but a tier 2 tower in bot lane is in the eyes of RNG.
Looks like it is. RNG very happy to just secure these towers. Wants to do it whilst they still had the Baron from earlier. It's dissipated now, of course.
They're going to trade inhibs.
Yeah, they just might. Shanks is on
TP
the bottom side.
is coming up soon.
I think this is why RNG are here, though. I think they're trying to just kind of abuse the numbers advantage. But
They don't get. I mean, this is a win for WE.
Yeah, it's just a flat win. I mean, teleport comes out here from, I think it's breathe. So they will stop the inhibitor from dying, but still, that's a macro win on the side of WE to get this tower.
And that's been the name of the game. That's literally been how they've been playing this map. It's been so honestly impressive.
It has. It really, really has. From the side lane play earlier, and just sort of shutting Angel down to this play just here. Again, I think if you can try and split RNG apart, that's how you have the most success, because 5v5ing without really, really strong flanks is going to be very difficult for Team WE. So Very happy to see that they kind of recognize what the conditions are in this game so far. And they try to keep RNG apart, right? From playing the 5v5 as much as they can, unless they can find a fight truly on their terms.
So we're looking at item spikes here. We've got 3 items completed for a majority of the solo laners, as well, I guess all the solo laners now. And looking at these ADCs as both on about 3.5. I guess this area did a little bit different there, but now looking at the next setup for at least vision around this Baron pit, what Heng and Wei are going to be fighting over, as we still have a while till the next dragon comes up, and that's where RNG are really looking to fight. It's about these objectives for them and not falling in the downtime.
Yep, exactly. Not dropping off. And for
the
WWE,
potion bought by Shanks, he knows that next big team fight, that's it.
He's just like, yeah, I need to.
That's control.
This is getting popped. As soon as the fight goes down, he's gonna drink that potion. There's a lot of combat stats as well. I forget. I think it's 40 AP. It might even be 50.
Heng has been in this bush for I don't know how long at this point. Like it feels like almost a minute and a half at the maybe even more.
Think about it like this, right? RNG, they want to set up here in the river. They might even just start Baron off in the next couple of seconds if they feel confident enough to try and draw WE in. Looks like the answer will be no. But if a wukong comes and flanks you at this angle, it just feels a bit weird, doesn't it?
He's just been here. He just lives here now. This is where he lives. Yeah. Do you see his nice little his couch? Yeah. He's got a dining table. Look, he even just put up a lamp.
Yo, is that a flat screen TV in the corner?
Yeah, I think it is. He's just chilling. He's just chilling in that bush. He's literally been. Somebody send me a counter of how long Heng has been in this bush, please. At me on Twitter. I don't care because I need to know. It's actually impressive, but it was strategic in its own right.
Yeah, I think he's got the BLG series up on his screen as well. He's hey, he's got Buddy now. He's got Buddy.
He's got out the he's hanging out there, just watching some LPL. But it was so. I love that the initial plan was to try and get a flank if RNG wanted to pull off that Baron fight. Now it's just been about committing to the side lane catch while Dragon started up for RNG. It must mean that WE want to threaten the Baron here.
Yeah, I mean it's on vision, and as you can see,
oh my God, they're all coming.
Dead, right? It's
just going down so fast. Here's Wei. Tidal wave comes across. You got Breathe in the middle of everybody. Lwandy's in trouble. Baron down to Heng, but RNG, they don't want to give it up here. Breathe flashing forward. Realm Warp, it gets them out. What a steal from WE. The moment and the decisiveness comes in clutch.
Oh, it's a complete heist, and Heng, he might end up dying. He's on the Great Escape path. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, the Warrior Tricks
he's far from home here. He's far from home. They're collapsing. Oh no, he's got cycloned. Okay, let's go back in. It's the Great Escape. Oh, he's down. The wave got pushed in topside though. Biubiu not gonna be able to get that in him, but a nice little distraction, I guess, from Heng.
Yeah, unfortunately there was no way home for Heng.
He couldn't click his heels together. It didn't work.
No. So they get the Baron, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure if we'll get a replay because no one technically died, but Heng's Warrior Trickster got ulted out of the pit by Wei, and for a second I was like, oh no. As speaking of oh no moments, Hope is getting collapsed.
They're just taking it, but there's such a split fire now. RNG are committing this. They might just lose their base. Hope is down, but in their base, they are losing Breathe. As their front line goes down, Angel comes back out, and it collapses on the board here for RNG. As Biubiu needs to try to get away. The back completed here from Shanks. Biubiu is the focus. He does have the hop and the skip, and we'll be able to get out of here.
I think he's out. Yeah, should be good. Should be
around. Oh my God, Gala's coming. Gala's coming with a vengeance. Gala wants him. It's a little baby. No. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's still alive. Little Gnar does big things. All right. Oh, Shanks. No way. Angel's down. The line of defense. It's not there. WE. No freaking way. They just used and duped RNG. And they take game number 1. Holy crap.
What just happened, Mazel?
What? Dude, RNG are still sitting there like the game is still going, right, guys? Right? We're still playing for the game, right?
I think RNG are as confused as we are. We got so sucked in, and I feel like they did as well, to the fact that they were trying to chase down the Gnar on the bottom side. They just kind of forgot their base. They've just been—
And that happened like 3 times in a row.
They've just been C9'd.
Oh my
God.
God.
I don't even know how to react to that. Like, for W, all right, sure, if we try and bring it down a little bit, they've been playing the side lane all game long, right? And I think they just had a good read. We don't 5v5 RNG. They will win with this composition. Just play sides, and they kind of just give us a bit of a, you know, a G2 2019 special. Just send your solo laners to the side lane as a duo and just make it work. And it happens. Shanks just stays top. And it works. RNG doesn't send anyone to answer him.
Look at that gold graph. Oh my God. I guess. That's a heck of a gold graph right there, and that is a heck of a game from WE. And I know we've got off the rails a little bit here, but I was very much set. I love the team fighting from RNG. We saw WE's answer the entire game. They did not want to go for these fights. They were looking at these side lanes, and every time RNG would overcommit for an objective and overcommit for a team fight, it was Shanks, it was Biubiu in the side lane, making sure to do lasting damage.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it was just about, you know, Heng and Biubiu, not only the side lanes, but coming to the team fights and finding really, really solid flanks as well. When the 5v5s, the few that did happen in this game, unfolded, they went the way of Team WE. Like, it was only really when we saw a couple of individual oversteps, perhaps from Hope a few times, and that was about it from RNG. That was the only couple of positive fights. It was kind of when it was handed to them, right? And I think the only thing we can really walk away from out of this game one is that Gala and Ming are very clearly in a strong position to win lane here against Hope and Lwandy, right? I think they had such a large advantage in the 2v2. That's about the only thing I can say RNG need to try and build off of, besides looking at the minimap and ensuring the side lanes aren't falling.
That's the disheartening thing.
Yeah.
I think for me is, like, and I hate to put so much emphasis on it, but it has been a, what does RNG do